Hey guys, it's Patricia. I am the creator of Outreach for You. I am a certified life coach and a healthcare companion. I want to talk to you guys about a service I'm starting to provide with targeting the population 55 and older. It is a companionship service and it helps with anything from making appointments, from navigating the internet, anything that you need on a daily basis that I can do while social distancing. I want to be able to service you. This subject and this topic is very, very dear and personal to my heart. It's something that I know of it to be in demand, and not only from personal experience, but just from um, facts. The simple facts is that about 55% of the population that's 55 year old suffers from some type of depression, whether it's things that we can control or it's things that we can't control. And I want to be able to step in and provide the services for the things that we can control. And anxiety and depression, isolation, these are things that I know I can help with, and something that I really am on a mission to provide the service because I know it's needed. One thing that really touched bases, the one thing that made this really relevant to my life was my work experience as a healthcare advocate for 4 years. There, I was customer service dealing with escalation calls, and escalation calls was the calls that everyone is outraged, everyone is going through something, everyone is having an issue. But my services was particularly to the elderly, and as taking those calls on a daily basis became pretty routine. But then you had the phone calls. One that particularly touched me was a suicidal call. And it was of a lady who was about 63 years old, I believe she was at the time. And she was telling me, she was calling to figure out why her medication that we approved wasn't working. Why we giving her a placebo, because if it was the real medication that she was supposed to get, when she took the full bottle, she was supposed to die. She didn't want to wake up. And at that point, hearing those words from her, I pretty much froze. Didn't know what to say. And something I'm trained to do as a counselor, as a healthcare professional, as an advocate, like I'm supposed to understand why this lady felt like this. And I didn't. And as I continued the conversation with her, she was telling me that her spouse had died, that her nephew was the one who was primarily taking care of her, and he was abusing her, and that she really didn't have anybody to call on. She said she'll wake up in the morning and she'll have no one to talk to, no one to give her tea, and she missed that, and she said it's just heavy on her. And then on top of that, she'll have days where she have no contact with anyone and can't figure out how to do the simple things that she was used to doing. She said she don't want to set no more appointments by herself. She said she didn't want to wash dishes by herself. She didn't want to watch her TV shows by herself. And the people who are there for her just wasn't the best for her, and they were hurting her. Now, at that point, I'm like, okay, what can I do to fix this? And this is my job. I'm supposed to stay calm. And at the point, to be honest, I was getting pretty emotional. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if it was just an off day for me, but I got pretty emotional on that phone call. And the only thing that I can say to her was that I'm here. I said, well, we're here in the moment. And, I'm sorry that you felt that there's no other way to deal with your issues, but what can I do right now? And then she said to me simply, I just need somebody to talk to. And that hit home for me. That's something that's simple as just someone there to talk to, a companion, whether it's romantic or friendly or whatever it is. A companion was something that only thing she craved for. And I didn't understand why was that so hard for her to have. I didn't understand why she couldn't have that. So I told her, well, I'm here. I said, you have me on the phone and I'm here. And as a supervisor at the time, a good thing I had the leeway to make those judgment calls, to stay on the phone with her. And long story short, we was able to not only connect her with a appropriate counselor for her, but I stayed on that phone call for about 3 hours. So it was the rest of my shift. I remember this day vividly. It was the rest of my shift, and she just talked to me about simple things. Whether it was just her getting up in the morning, her watering the flower pots that was in her front yard, and how much of it is a task for her now, and how she don't feel like she used to. And I sat there, and not only did I gain some wisdom from her, I gained a special compassion for her, and for anyone who's been going through that. And that is the main reason why I feel this companionship services is very important. Even the little things that I can reach out to you and help you, if whether it's just calling you 3 times a week to see how your day is going, calling you to see if you need any appointments set, calling you to see if you need to do online shopping, were you able to schedule the deliveries that you had to. And I don't want to do it in a way that I feel that you feel that's organic or forced or pressured. I really want you to feel that you have someone that's going to check up on you, because sometimes we just don't. And as the reality of life is things that we can't change. Sometimes we have older children that has a busy life with their own lives. Sometimes we didn't have any children and then our companion died or didn't have a companion. That is not a way that anyone want to live. One of our basic needs as human is to be loved and have affection, and whether it's brotherly love or romantic love or whatever it is. But companionship matters. It does improve the quality of life of our golden age population. It does improve the mental health of that population. And it does improve our way of our value of life. And it matters. And I understand that, and it means something to be able to provide a service where I can cater to those needs and make sure that we're okay, and to show that we still count when we get older, that you don't deserve to be dismissed because of economic differences that's been going on in the world or whatever, and all these changes that's going on in the world with technology. Just because you haven't been able to have as much experience or learn on the pace that we have as a younger population does not mean that you're not valid. And it doesn't mean that you can't ask for help. You deserve it. You earned it. And if we have any parents that's elderly, they earned our respect and they earned our companionship. And sometimes we feel guilty that we can't provide that. So that was the whole purpose behind me starting this companionship service. I just want to be there. I want to find a way to be there in the small ways that really matter and in the small ways that really make a difference. And that's important to me. And I'm hoping that when I get of my golden ages that I have someone there for me. And I want to set those stones personally. So if I could put it out in the universe in the most unorthodox way, whether it's just you want to just chat, have a conversation, or whatever it is that you need,